In the vast landscape of human behavior and sexuality, few topics remain as heavily veiled by social taboo and private whispers as the one we are exploring today. It is a subject that exists in a strange limbo, intensely personal, yet rarely discussed with any real factual clarity. Hello, I am Dr. Emily Carter, and as a physician who has spent decades focusing on the intersection of biological health and emotional well-being for women in their prime, I have seen how silence can often lead to a lack of empowerment. Today we are talking about the act of swallowing semen and the fundamental question that often surrounds it: to swallow or not to swallow. For many women, especially as we navigate the complexities of long-term relationships and the physical changes that come with age, this decision is framed by personal preference, intimacy, or cultural conditioning. But what if there is more to it than just a preference? What if we set aside the social awkwardness and looked at it not as a personal dilemma, but as a profound biological and psychological event? This is not a conversation about opinions or judgments. Instead, it is a deep dive into the fascinating and often surprising science of what happens when this complex biological fluid interacts with the female body. Scientific research, though limited, has begun to peel back the layers of this taboo, revealing startling information, both positive and negative, that has largely remained outside of public conversation. We are going to explore the hidden chemistry of semen, discovering that it is far more than just a vehicle for reproduction. It is a sophisticated biological cocktail packed with a host of chemicals, hormones, and nutrients that can influence everything from your mood and sleep to the very workings of your immune system. As we mature, our bodies become more sensitive to chemical shifts, making this understanding even more vital for our health and longevity. I invite you to approach this topic with an open and curious mind. What we will uncover might challenge what you thought you knew and will certainly give you a deeper appreciation for the intricate connection between our bodies, our minds, and our relationships. If you value content that is not afraid to tackle complex subjects with scientific honesty and genuine respect, then you are in the right place. Before we move forward into the heavy science, please take a moment to subscribe to ElderWell Living and hit the notification bell. Your engagement helps us bring these essential, often ignored health conversations to light. Let us get started by understanding that for the woman who chooses to engage in this act, she is participating in a deep biological dialogue that has evolved over millions of years to foster a unique kind of connection between partners. To truly appreciate the biological events we are discussing, we must first deconstruct the substance itself. There is a very common misconception that this fluid is primarily comprised of sperm cells, but that is far from the truth. In reality, the spermatozoa themselves make up only about 5% to 10% of the total volume of an ejaculation. The vast majority, the remaining 90% to 95%, is a complex fluid known as seminal plasma. This plasma is not just a passive carrier or a simple lubricant. It is a highly sophisticated, strategically engineered biological solution, a true cocktail of substances produced by various glands in the male reproductive system. From an evolutionary standpoint, its singular and clear purpose is to protect, nourish, and energize the sperm on its incredibly difficult journey to fertilize an egg. However, when this cocktail is introduced to the female digestive tract, its components are no longer just supporting sperm. They can be absorbed into the bloodstream, where they can exert influence in ways that have nothing to do with reproduction and everything to do with the chemistry of the woman who ingests them. Let us break down this foundational cocktail. First, there's fructose. This is not the same as the table sugar you might find in your kitchen. It is a simple sugar that serves as a primary high-octane fuel source for sperm cells, giving them the energy required to swim. For a woman ingesting this, it is a direct source of cellular energy. Beyond sugars, seminal plasma contains a rich and varied mix of proteins and enzymes. These proteins have several critical jobs, including protecting the sperm from the naturally acidic environment of the female reproductive tract and managing the consistency of the fluid so that sperm can move freely when the timing is right. As we age, the health of our own mucosal linings and our ability to process proteins becomes even more central to our overall vitality. Furthermore, this biological fluid is packed with essential minerals and vitamins that are often the very supplements I recommend to my patients in their 50s and 60s. It contains zinc, which is crucial for sperm health and DNA stability, as well as vitamin C and vitamin B12, which act as antioxidants and support overall cellular function. But this is where the composition moves from merely functional to truly fascinating. Beyond these life-sustaining nutrients, semen contains a powerful array of hormones and mood-altering neurochemicals. These compounds are identical to the ones our own bodies produce to regulate our emotions, stress levels, and feelings of well-being. This psychoactive dimension is what makes the science so compelling for women's health. For the mature woman whose hormonal profile may be shifting due to menopause or general aging, the introduction of these external biochemicals can be quite significant. We find cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone, which plays a role in reducing inflammation and regulating the immune system. We find melatonin, the sleep hormone that regulates our circadian rhythms and tells our body when it is time to rest. We even find serotonin, the famous feel-good chemical that has a profound impact on happiness and contentment. Perhaps most importantly for the intimacy of long-term partners, it contains oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone or bonding hormone. This is the same chemical released during hugging, childbirth, and breastfeeding, playing a critical role in forming deep emotional bonds and fostering trust. Understanding this hidden chemistry is the first step in moving beyond social awkwardness and toward a factual, health-oriented perspective on our most private moments. Now that we have established the complex chemical framework of this biological fluid, we can explore one of the most startling and widely debated areas of research: the potential for positive effects on a woman's mind and body. While this field of study is still emerging, the findings offer a fascinating window into a complex biochemical interaction that goes far beyond the physical act. It is important to stress that these are not guaranteed outcomes, but rather scientifically observed correlations and hypotheses that challenge us to think differently. For many women navigating the emotional ebbs and flows of middle age, the most intriguing potential benefit is the proposed antidepressant effect. This idea gained significant attention following a groundbreaking 2002 study conducted at the State University of New York at Albany. Researchers surveyed nearly 300 sexually active college women, asking them about their sexual practices and assessing their mood using the Beck Depression Inventory. The results were striking. The women who were directly exposed to their partner's semen, meaning no condom was used, reported significantly fewer depressive symptoms and demonstrated overall higher levels of happiness compared to those in the other groups. The leading hypothesis to explain this correlation points directly back to the psychoactive cocktail we just discussed. The theory is that mood-elevating compounds in semen, such as serotonin, oxytocin, and other endorphins, are absorbed through the lining of the digestive tract and enter the bloodstream. Once circulating throughout the body, these hormones and neurotransmitters can exert a systemic antidepressant-like influence, contributing to a greater sense of well-being. This suggests that the emotional lift experienced after intimacy might not be purely psychological but may also have a tangible biochemical component. As we mature, our brains naturally undergo changes in how they process these neurochemicals, often making us more susceptible to mood swings or feelings of isolation. Having a natural biological reinforcement of these feel-good chemicals can be a powerful addition to a woman's emotional health. Serotonin is crucial for maintaining mood balance, while oxytocin does more than just make us feel close to someone. It fosters feelings of trust and empathy. When absorbed, these chemicals help to regulate anxiety and promote a sense of calm. This means that the act of swallowing could theoretically provide a dual benefit, increasing the chemicals that make us happy while simultaneously decreasing the chemicals that make us feel overwhelmed. Furthermore, the presence of these chemicals in the bloodstream after ingestion suggests a prolonged effect that lasts well beyond the intimate encounter itself. For a woman in a long-term, committed relationship, this regular exchange could act as a subtle but persistent stabilizer for her nervous system. It creates a biological feedback loop where intimacy leads to improved mood, which in turn fosters a desire for further connection and closeness. This is particularly relevant for the demographic I treat, where maintaining a vibrant emotional life is just as important as physical health. While we are not suggesting that this is a replacement for clinical treatment if one is suffering from severe depression, It is a fascinating piece of the puzzle regarding how our bodies use intimacy to maintain psychological health. In addition to these mood-boosting effects, the absorption of these neurochemicals may also influence cognitive function and mental clarity. Researchers believe that the nutrients and hormones found in seminal plasma can support brain health. By looking at this act through the lens of psychology and neurobiology, we begin to see it as a form of biological nourishment for the female mind. It is a testament to the intricate and often hidden ways that our physical relationships can support our mental health, providing a sense of stability and happiness that is rooted in our very chemistry. Understanding these mechanisms allows us to move beyond taboos and appreciate the incredible complexity of the connection between our bodies and our relationships. Beyond the immediate elevation of mood, specific components within this biological cocktail could play a vital role in relaxation and the quality of sleep. As we advance in years, many women find that maintaining a consistent sleep schedule becomes increasingly difficult. This is where the presence of melatonin, the body's natural sleep-regulating hormone, becomes particularly noteworthy. While the amount is small, its ingestion could theoretically contribute to a feeling of calmness and may even aid in sleep. This aligns with the sense of tranquility many people feel after sex. By introducing melatonin directly into the system, the body may receive a biological signal that it is time to transition into a state of rest, helping to regulate the circadian rhythms that govern our daily energy cycles. In addition to melatonin, the role of cortisol in this exchange adds another layer of complexity. While cortisol is widely known as the body's primary stress hormone, it also plays a role in reducing inflammation and regulating the immune system. For the mature woman, chronic inflammation can be a significant health concern. The systemic absorption of cortisol and other anti-inflammatory agents from seminal fluid may offer a subtle way for the body to manage these responses. This is not to say that intimacy is a replacement for medical care, but it suggests that the chemical exchange has a functional impact on how our bodies physically recover from the day's stressors. Furthermore, we must return to the love hormone, oxytocin, which is central to emotional bonding and physical relaxation. We know that oxytocin is a powerful agent in fostering feelings of trust, empathy, and social connection. During the act of ingestion, the transfer and absorption of this hormone can be seen as a form of biochemical reinforcement. It adds a biological layer to the psychological experience of closeness, potentially strengthening the emotional bond between partners by literally exchanging the chemistry of connection. For women in the later stages of life, these bonds of trust are the bedrock of psychological resilience. Oxytocin does not just make us feel in love. It physically fosters a sense of safety and security. This sense of security is vital for high-quality restorative sleep. When the body feels safe and the mind is flooded with oxytocin and serotonin, the nervous system shifts into a state of rest. This transition is essential for deep sleep, which is when the body performs its most critical repair work. Therefore, the simple act of biological exchange can be viewed as a catalyst for a healthier sleep-wake cycle. For my patients who struggle with restlessness, understanding that intimacy provides a natural dose of sleep-inducing and stress-reducing chemicals can be a revelation. It is truly a deep biological dialogue that is far more complex than we ever imagined. This connection, this incredible exchange of chemistry that can strengthen bonds and promote well-being, is truly a two-way street. It suggests that the benefits of intimacy are not just localized but systemic, affecting the brain and the very rhythms of our lives. As a physician, I find it empowering to share that these natural processes are designed to support our health throughout our entire lifespan, provided we approach them with the right knowledge and a commitment to mutual well-being. By recognizing these off-label effects of seminal plasma, we can appreciate intimacy as a holistic contributor to a woman's vitality and peace of mind. One of the most profound and scientifically intriguing potential benefits relates to the female immune system and its role in long-term health. This is centered on a complex biological concept called immunological tolerance. To understand this, we must look at how our bodies distinguish between self and non-self. A woman's immune system is naturally designed to recognize and attack foreign invaders. However, from a biological standpoint, A fetus is technically a foreign entity because half of its genetic material comes from the father. In some cases, the mother's immune system can have an aggressive reaction to these paternal genes. One of the most dangerous examples of this during the childbearing years is preeclampsia, a serious pregnancy complication involving high blood pressure, which is linked to an adverse maternal immune response to the paternal genes within the placenta. Remarkably, several studies have suggested that regular long-term exposure to a partner's semen can help build up this tolerance. The scientific hypothesis is that by introducing the woman's body to the partner's specific proteins and DNA over time, her immune system gradually learns to recognize this genetic material as safe rather than as a threat to be attacked. Research has shown a strong correlation. Women with more prolonged sexual exposure to the father's semen before conception, including through oral ingestion, have been found to have a significantly reduced risk of developing preeclampsia. This suggests that the practice can act as a kind of natural immunization, preparing the female body for a healthy pregnancy by tempering the immune system's defensive stance. For women who are beyond their childbearing years, this concept of immunological tolerance still carries significant weight. Our immune systems do not stop learning or adapting just because we have moved into a new phase of life. The regular introduction of a partner's unique biological markers may contribute to a more harmonious internal environment, reducing the likelihood of systemic hypersensitivity. As we age, the immune system can sometimes become overactive, leading to chronic low-grade inflammation. The biochemical dialogue facilitated by seminal plasma might serve as a stabilizing force, constantly reminding the immune system to remain tolerant of the partner's biological presence. It is absolutely crucial, however, to put these findings into a responsible medical perspective. These are fascinating correlations and hypotheses, not medical prescriptions. Ingesting semen is not a clinically proven treatment for depression or a guaranteed way to prevent pregnancy complications. Rather, these studies offer a compelling glimpse into the subtle and powerful ways our bodies communicate, revealing a biological dialogue that is far more complex than we ever imagined. This idea of a deep biological dialogue is essential for women's health because it highlights that our intimate choices have systemic ripples. When we consider the totality of these benefits, mood elevation, bonding, sleep regulation, and immune priming, we see a picture of holistic health support. Nature has designed this exchange to be more than just a reproductive necessity. It is a mechanism for maintaining the health and stability of the female partner. For the mature woman, this means that maintaining a safe and healthy intimate life can be a legitimate pillar of her wellness strategy. By daring to look at the science behind these behaviors, we open the door to more honest and healthier conversations. Understanding these mechanisms allows us to move beyond taboos and appreciate the incredible complexity of the connection between our bodies and our relationships. While the potential benefits of this biological exchange are scientifically intriguing, it is absolutely essential to approach this topic with a clear and responsible understanding of the hidden risks. Providing a balanced perspective is not just important. It is a matter of health and safety for every woman. The same intimate act that may offer psychological and immunological advantages can also, under the wrong circumstances, pose significant dangers. The science is unequivocal on this point, and ignoring these risks can have serious long-term consequences. The most immediate and undeniable danger is the transmission of sexually transmitted infections. This is the single most critical risk factor you must consider. Seminal fluid is a primary vehicle for a wide range of viral and bacterial pathogens, and the delicate mucous membranes of the mouth, throat, and digestive tract are highly effective at absorbing them. It is a dangerous myth that oral sex is safe sex. Many of the most serious STIs can be transmitted just as effectively through oral contact as they can through genital contact. Let us be explicit about the risks. HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, can be transmitted orally if there are any small cuts, sores, or inflammation in the mouth or gums, which are far more common than people realize. Herpes, both oral HSV-1 and genital HSV-2, can be easily transmitted and can cause painful, recurring sores. Human papillomavirus, or HPV, is another major concern. Certain strains of HPV can cause genital warts, while others are linked to a significant increase in the risk of developing oropharyngeal cancers, that is, cancers of the back of the throat, the base of the tongue, and the tonsils. Rates of these cancers have been rising, and oral HPV transmission is a primary cause. Furthermore, bacterial infections like chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis can also infect the throat, leading to severe soreness, inflammation, and, if left untreated, more serious systemic health problems. A crucial and sobering fact is that many of these infections can be asymptomatic in the carrier. A partner can be infected and contagious without showing any visible signs or symptoms, making visual inspection an unreliable method of assessing risk. Beyond infectious diseases, there is another less common but serious risk: an allergic reaction. This condition is known clinically as seminal plasma hypersensitivity. While rare, some individuals can have a severe allergic response to specific proteins found in semen. The reaction is triggered by the immune system mistakenly identifying these proteins as harmful invaders. When ingested, the symptoms can range from mild localized reactions like itching, swelling, redness, or hives in the mouth and throat to more severe systemic anaphylactic reactions. Anaphylaxis is a life-threatening condition that can cause difficulty breathing and a drop in blood pressure, requiring immediate medical attention. For those with this sensitivity, the practice is not just uncomfortable. It is medically dangerous. As a physician, I cannot overstate the importance of these risks. While the chemistry of connection is powerful, your physical safety must always come first. The only truly effective way to mitigate these profound risks is through a foundation of absolute trust, open and honest communication about sexual health histories, and consistent, regular health screenings for both partners. For the mature woman, protecting your health means being proactive. If you are in a new relationship, the use of barriers or seeking medical testing together is the most empowering choice you can make. Understanding these risks is not about creating fear. It is about providing the knowledge necessary to enjoy intimacy safely. Finally, we must consider the broader health and lifestyle of the partner, because the chemical composition of semen is not static. It is a direct reflection of a person's overall health, diet, and habits. What a person consumes, their body processes, and some of those substances can end up in their bodily fluids, including semen. This means that toxins from excessive alcohol consumption, illicit drug use, or even high doses of certain prescription medications can potentially be present in seminal fluid. Ingesting these substances can introduce them into your own system, essentially making the fluid a vector for toxins. In my clinical practice, I often remind patients that a healthy lifestyle is not just an individual pursuit. In an intimate partnership, it is a shared biological responsibility. For example, a diet lacking in key nutrients can alter the levels of zinc and vitamins found in the seminal cocktail, potentially diminishing the benefits we discussed earlier. Conversely, a partner who prioritizes hydration and a balanced diet is likely to provide a cleaner biological exchange. This makes transparency about medications and lifestyle choices not just a matter of relationship trust, but a factor in the biological safety of this practice. Beyond just toxins and nutrients, the partner's hormonal health also plays a role in what is being transmitted. If a partner is under chronic stress, his cortisol levels may be abnormally high, which could shift the balance of the psychoactive cocktail he is providing. As we have explored, while small amounts of cortisol can be beneficial, an overload of stress hormones is rarely helpful for the recipient's nervous system. Furthermore, for men over 50, the decline in testosterone and other reproductive hormones can change the protein concentrations within the plasma. This is why I often advocate for couple-centric wellness. When the man takes care of his heart health and hormonal balance, he is indirectly supporting the physiological well-being of his partner through their intimate exchanges. For the women listening, it is also worth noting that the flavor and consistency of the fluid, which are often the primary reasons for hesitation, are also dictated by these lifestyle factors. Diets rich in fruits and vegetables are often reported to improve the experience, while heavy smoking or the consumption of pungent foods can significantly alter the chemical signature. Understanding this allows a couple to approach the topic with a sense of agency. If a woman wants to reap the potential benefits but is put off by the physical experience, the solution may lie in her partner's lifestyle adjustments. The only truly effective way to mitigate the risks associated with toxins and infections is through a foundation of absolute trust and open communication about health histories. Without that foundation, the potential for pleasure can irrevocably become a problem. As we age, our bodies become less resilient to environmental toxins and pathogens, making this level of transparency more critical than ever before. We must view these intimate acts as a total exchange of our biological selves. When you understand that his health directly impacts your biology, it changes the conversation from one of social taboo to one of mutual health preservation. So, where does all of this leave us after journeying through the complex chemistry, the surprising potential benefits, and the very real critical risks? We arrive at a clear conclusion. The act of swallowing semen is far more significant than social taboos would have us believe. It is not merely a matter of personal taste or a simple gesture of intimacy. It is a genuine biological exchange, a complex transaction of chemicals, hormones, and genetic information that can have measurable effects on everything from our emotional state to the fundamental workings of our immune system. We have seen how the psychoactive components in this biological cocktail, the serotonin, the oxytocin, the melatonin, mirror the very neurochemicals that govern our mood and sense of connection. This has led to fascinating research suggesting potential antidepressant effects and a strengthening of emotional bonds, adding a layer of biochemical depth to the experience of intimacy. We have also explored the incredible hypothesis that regular exposure to a partner's seminal fluid could help prime a woman's immune system for a healthier pregnancy or a more balanced internal environment, potentially reducing the risk of serious complications like preeclampsia by fostering immunological tolerance. Yet, on the other side of this compelling coin, we are faced with undeniable risks that demand our utmost respect and caution. The threat of STIs, from HIV and herpes to cancer-causing strains of HPV, is not a remote possibility. It is a clear and present danger that can be transmitted orally. We have acknowledged the rare but serious potential for allergic reactions and the critical fact that a partner's lifestyle and health directly impact the safety of their seminal fluid. These are not minor details. They are the critical counterweights in a very delicate balance. As your guide today, my purpose is not to tell you what you should or should not do, nor is it to advocate for or against this practice. The goal of ElderWell Living is to strip away the layers of myth, shame, and misinformation and replace them with knowledge. True empowerment comes from understanding. It comes from having the facts, all of them, and being able to make a conscious, informed, and personal choice that is right for you, your body, and your relationship. Knowledge is the bridge that allows us to move beyond taboos. By daring to look at the science behind our most intimate behaviors, we open the door to more honest and healthier conversations. Understanding our own biology is the first step toward understanding each other more deeply. This choice should only be made in the context of absolute trust, open communication, and a shared commitment to health and safety. The science is complex, but the path forward is clear. Be informed, be safe, and be honest. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into a topic that deserves more light and less shadow. If you found this information valuable and appreciate this kind of unfiltered science-based exploration, please take a moment to like this video and share your thoughts respectfully in the comments below. If you have not already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you do not miss our next journey into the fascinating psychology and science behind our lives. To conclude, remember that your body is a sophisticated system capable of incredible connection and resilience. By approaching intimacy with both a curious mind and a protective heart, you honor your health and your partnership. Stay proactive, stay informed, and always prioritize the well-being that comes from true knowledge. I look forward to continuing this journey of discovery with you in our next session.